He was a strange, quiet child who read encyclopedias for fun. By the age of 12, he sold his first computer program for $500. By 30, he had lost everything, and by 50, he became the first person in human history to be worth $1 trillion. This is the story of Elon Musk, and it is far stranger than you think. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. From the very beginning, he was different. While other children played outside, Elon read. He read everything: science books, fantasy novels, encyclopedias. He finished the entire Britannica encyclopedia before he was 10 years old. His childhood was not easy. His parents divorced when he was 9. He stayed with his father, Elon Musk, a man Elon would later describe as difficult and cold. At school, Elon was bullied. He was small, quiet, and obsessed with ideas that other children did not understand. One day, a group of boys threw him down a flight of stairs. He was beaten so badly he had to go to the hospital, but Elon did not give up. He retreated into books and into his own mind. He taught himself computer programming using a manual that should have taken 6 months to learn. He finished it in 3 days. At 12 years old, he created a video game called Blastar. It was a simple space shooter game. He sold it to a computer magazine for $500. That was the first money Elon Musk ever made, and it came from his own mind. When Elon was 17, he made a decision that would change everything. He left South Africa. He did not want to serve in the apartheid military. He did not want to stay in a country he felt was going nowhere. He wanted to go to America. He believed America was the place where you could actually change the world. He first went to Canada, staying with relatives he had barely met. He worked difficult jobs. He cleaned out a boiler room. He cut logs. He did whatever it took to survive. He applied to Queen's University in Canada and was accepted. 2 years later, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. At Penn, Elon studied economics and physics. He was not just smart, he was obsessed. He would think about problems that most people did not even know existed. One night, he sat with a friend and wrote down what he believed were the 5 most important problems facing humanity. On that list were sustainable energy, the internet, making life multiplanetary, artificial intelligence, and rewriting human genetics. Most students would write that list and forget it by morning. Elon Musk spent the rest of his life trying to solve every single one of them. After graduating, Elon moved to Silicon Valley. He was accepted into a PhD program at Stanford University. He lasted 2 days. 2 days. He quit because he felt the internet was about to change the world, and he did not want to miss it. In 1995, with his brother Kimball and a small amount of money, Elon started his first company. It was called Zip2. It was a kind of online city guide, helping newspapers provide maps and business directories to their readers. Elon and Kimball worked out of a tiny office. Elon slept on a beanbag. They shared one computer. During the day, Elon used the computer to build the software. At night, Kimball used it to find customers. 4 years later, in 1999, a company called Compaq bought Zip2 for over $300 million. Elon's share was $22 million. He was 27 years old. He had just made more money than most people earn in 10 lifetimes. Most people would stop there. Elon Musk went bigger. He immediately put $12 million of his own money into his next idea, a company called X.com. It was one of the first online banks. The idea was simple but radical. What if you could send money to anyone in the world using just an email address? X.com later merged with another company called Confinity. That company had a small product called PayPal. The combined company eventually became PayPal, and in 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon's share was $180 million. He was 30 years old. He had $180 million in his bank account. and he was about to do something that everyone told him was insane. Elon Musk wanted to go to Mars. He had become obsessed with the idea that humanity needed to become a multiplanetary species. If Earth was ever destroyed by an asteroid, a pandemic, or a war, humans would be extinct. The only way to survive was to live on another planet, and the most obvious candidate was Mars. He went to Russia 3 times trying to buy old rockets. He wanted to send a greenhouse to Mars, a small capsule of plants that would grow in Martian soil and inspire people about space exploration. But the Russians laughed at him. They thought he was a crazy American with too much money. On the flight home from his 3rd failed trip to Russia, Elon opened a spreadsheet on his laptop. He began calculating the cost of rocket parts. He realized something extraordinary. The raw materials for a rocket cost only about 2% of the price that rocket companies were charging. The industry was massively inefficient. If you built rockets from scratch, you could make them 10 times cheaper. He decided to build his own rocket company. In 2002, Elon founded SpaceX, Space Exploration Technologies Corporation. He put $100 million of his own money into it. Every engineer he told about his plan said the same thing. Rockets are incredibly hard. Starting a rocket company from scratch has never been done successfully. You will fail. Elon hired the best engineers he could find and told them they were going to do the impossible. The first 3 launches of SpaceX's Falcon 1 rocket all failed. 3 explosions, 3 total losses. Elon had spent almost all of his money. He was nearly bankrupt. In interviews from that time, you can see the pain on his face. He was not sleeping. He was not eating properly. He believed he might lose everything. And at the same moment, his other company was also nearly dying. In 2004, Elon had invested in a small electric car company called Tesla. He became chairman and later CEO. The idea was simple. Build an electric car so good that people would want it, not just buy it to save the planet. But building cars is brutally hard. Tesla faced manufacturing problems, cash shortages, and a global financial crisis in 2008. By Christmas 2008, Elon Musk was facing total destruction. SpaceX had one last chance. If the 4th launch of Falcon 1 failed, SpaceX would be finished, and Tesla was weeks away from bankruptcy. Elon split his last $20 million between the 2 companies to keep them alive. On September 28, 2008, SpaceX launched Falcon 1 for the 4th time. It worked. It became the first privately built liquid-fueled rocket to reach orbit. The engineers cried, Elon cried. Within weeks, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth $1.6 billion. Tesla also secured funding just in time. Elon Musk had survived, but he was just getting started. Over the next decade, SpaceX revolutionized the space industry. They developed reusable rockets, something that had never been done before. Instead of throwing a rocket away after one use, SpaceX landed their rockets back on Earth, ready to fly again. They cut the cost of reaching space by a factor of 10. Tesla became the most valuable car company in the world, not General Motors, not Toyota. Tesla, a company that almost died in 2008, was worth more than any car manufacturer in history. Elon also founded or co-founded other companies. Neuralink, working on connecting the human brain to computers. The Boring Company, building underground tunnels to reduce traffic, and he bought Twitter, one of the most important social media platforms in the world, and renamed it X. He was building his own universe of companies, each one connected to his original list. The 5 problems he had written on a piece of paper as a young student in Pennsylvania. On a cold day in 2025, something happened that had never happened in human history. Elon Musk's net worth crossed $1 trillion. $1 trillion. That is 1,000 billion. That is more money than the entire economy of most countries on Earth. He became the first trillionaire in human history. The boy who was thrown down a flight of stairs in South Africa. The immigrant who slept on a beanbag in a tiny office. The man who cried watching his fourth rocket finally reach the stars. $1 trillion. But here is the most important thing to understand about Elon Musk. He does not think about money the way most people do. He has said many times that he does not spend much. He does not buy yachts. He does not collect mansions. For a period, he famously lived in a small prefabricated house near the SpaceX facility in Texas, worth around $50,000. He thinks about money as fuel for the mission. Every dollar he makes goes back into the companies, back into the rockets, back into the cars, back into the future he is trying to build. He once said something that very few people truly understand. He said the goal was never to be rich. The goal was to make life multi-planetary. The money is just what happens when you solve hard enough problems. Most people spend their lives chasing money. Elon Musk spent his life chasing problems, and the money followed. You do not have to agree with everything Elon Musk does. Many people do not. But there is one lesson in his story that cannot be argued with. The people who change the world are not the ones who play it safe. They are the ones who look at the impossible and decide to try anyway. They are the ones who lose everything and start again. They are the ones who sleep on beanbags and eat dreams for breakfast. Elon Musk was the strange, quiet child who read encyclopedias for fun, and he became the first human being in history to build a $1 trillion mind.